Mic check. See y'all hear me one time. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do that. Okay. Okay. There we go. Let me get right real quick. Let me stop playing. Let me stop playing with y'all. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh my gosh. I felt like it's been forever. Okay. We are back at it. Back at it with another one. Welcome back to Dissect a Dialogue. I'm Eric C. This is episode 114. Okay. Yep. I'm right. Yep. 114. All right. Let's see what we going talking about tonight. It's been a busy and eventful week or two. For those that know what I'm probably going to mention based on the title, then yeah, we're in for something. Oh man. Turn it down a bit. Okay. Orange guy. The orange. Agent Orange. I don't know how he pulled it off, but he did. I don't know. We thought we wasn't going to see him again, but boy, was a lot of us wrong. Now, I'll just tell you my take on this whole thing. Trump being back in office again. It's not really doing anything on me. At the end of the day, he's just one person. He doesn't have the whole world on his fingertips per se, even though we've been taught to believe that and we're indoctrinated into thinking that this one individual has the power to do whatever. I've always thought that was like kind of just a ploy to get people in this country like in line to make sure that we don't get out of hand and upset the established order per se. But I don't know, like ever since I'll say when I got older, like when Mama was still in office, I started to realize like, okay, this whole title doesn't really mean much. And to be fair, I've never really seen what the whole hype was about this one individual that we have to look up to and hear speak and see what they're going to say about the State of the Union in a sense, when really they're not going to do anything. They're just being told what their real bosses are saying. I think the good equivalent of a U.S. president, I was just mentioning this on, an equivalent is like basically a CEO of a company. Why I say this? Because at the end of the day, just like the CEO, just like a janitor, they're still an employee. They just got a different name. That's how I see the president as just a CEO. One stops or dies, they just find another one, just like any other employee. If you don't own nothing, you ain't worth nothing. That's kind of how I see it. Now, but I mean, with all this going on, I'll be back in office. I mean, people are thinking that everything's gonna be even worse than before. That now that he's back, people panicking, saying all this stuff, just nonsense, just things just to make themselves feel bad because everybody wants to be in a constant victim mode and all this. But let's get into the main hard-hitting question on tonight: is what are we afraid of? Now, we've dealt with people like him in office before. Maybe not to the extent, but as far as like people just doing, I mean, people act like we didn't have a double dose of Bushes running around the U.S. presidency for like a long time. People just automatically forget that, Bush was ultimately responsible. Daddy Bush, I mean, when y'all hear me say Bush, I'm talking about, you know, Dad Bush. And when I say W, I'm talking about, y'all get it. But Bush, him and Reagan was responsible for pretty much the whole, you know, war on drugs, essentially. George Bush was a part of that too. He was in cahoots, for sure. And then it's like the dad shipping the coke, the son snorting it because that's what W was doing. While dad was shipping the stuff, his son was probably partying, going crazy. But that's how I pretty much see this whole thing going. I mean, I don't really understand how everybody's just so in the uproar. Because if you really think about it, I mean, besides the COVID happening, nothing really bad happened. I mean, sure, with the storm in the Capitol and, the George Floyd thing, but I mean, besides those things, nothing like truly happened. Like, we didn't go like to some war. There wasn't like a major shutdown in the economy. I mean, there wasn't really a lot of people losing jobs around that time. Everything was affordable. Nobody was fake being health conscious, just like when COVID happened. Everybody was dirty as hell when pre-COVID. Now all of a sudden, COVID, everybody, the biggest expert of everything health related. Like it's nuts. Like people are so quick to fall under anything as long as you like tell them that, oh, this is gonna happen, so you have to obey to this. Like when that COVID stuff happened, it was so stupid because the concept of what they always mentioned was just how it's an airborne pass. I'm like, wouldn't that be the flu then? Wouldn't that be any common cold? Like the whole concept never even made sense, and even the numbers didn't make sense. Just saying, most of the people that probably passed from COVID like symptoms, or the numbers that we were thought we saw were the death rates. A lot of them were elderly. Now, if there was a bunch of people that was like in their 30s and just was dropping like flies, it probably would have been a little believable. But a lot of the people that were dying were like really old, so it never really did make any sense. So that somebody tap into something to make them kind of lose, their sanity or whatever, or lose their vitality. That's kind of like how I see it. I never did really take the COVID thing seriously, though. Having to wear gloves, and I mean, if that's the case, you need to wear gloves everywhere. Why not wear gloves and masks at restaurants? If you want to be honest, why not wear masks and gloves at hotels or any place that deals with public transportation? Why not wear it at trains? Why not wear it at airports? Why not do that? Why not do it in taxis, Ubers, Lyfts? Like it never did really make any sense. It was just fear mongering nonsense. But back to Orange Man here. I mean, Trump did another uh, created another thing that was a new thing. Again, little history buff here. Second president to do two non-consecutive terms. First was Grover Cleveland. Y'all can look him up. But besides that, I mean, as far as what he's capable of and what he's trying to accomplish, I don't think Trump's going to do nothing that he hasn't done already. And that's pretty much bullshit about being president and just run around saying nonsense. And then the whole country acting like he's like the worst person on the planet, you know? Which is like stupid because, I mean, dude was a reality TV star. People should know anybody that was, not only was he a reality TV star, he doesn't have any experience in war, military base, or politics. So that alone lets you know that nothing in our establishment, in our system, is taken seriously. Nobody takes anything what he says seriously besides people that are afraid of, I don't know, just living. I think the people that are complaining about what Trump is doing, they just don't like where their life is going, and so they need to find someone to blame. They can't blame themselves, so they got to blame on somebody else. You know, especially like in certain communities, like, oh, I ain't get a job, I ain't get this, so my man did it, whatever. Not saying that we're not held under certain obstacles. I know everybody be like, oh, he's cool. I'm just making a point that sometimes some of us can play victim a lot. Sometimes. Even with this stuff, like if you ask somebody when, and I don't want this to come up as like no Trump thing. I don't care nothing for the guy, but I'm just saying if you're gonna like shit on somebody, at least back it up with some claims. Biden's done a whole heinous gang of stuff, and nobody says anything. I bet you people that I probably say this all the time. Look up the '94 crime bill. Biden was one of the signees that was responsible for initiating the three strikes rule. It's documented. Man was uh, at a funeral to a known Klans member. Nobody says anything about this. But Trump says this thing, and all of a sudden he's the scum of the earth, you know. But to give George Washington a museum. But other than that, let's get into the main question, though. But about this, will this be any different than the last one? Will it really be any different? I mean, as far as him changing the Gulf of America, whatever Mexico, the Gulf of America, I think that's still. I don't even know if that's true or not, but the fact that he even said it is even hilarious on its own. But what are we really afraid of in our country? I never did get like how certain people can say that one person is responsible for all the stuff going on. Like I said, people just want to find stuff to blame on somebody because they don't want to take any stock and responsibility in their lives. This is what, because this is how I see it. So Trump is a racist, sexist, xenophobic, Islamophobic, transphobic, whatever phobic you want to call him, criminal, such and such, so on and so forth. He's all these things. He's done all of these heinous stuff, all this, you know, ridiculous, things that's just the whole gang of stuff, right? But just what he does is going to ignore 300, 400, 500 years of criminality, captivity, robbing, murdering, raping, and pillaging. Stats. We're just gonna red lighting, Jim Crow, segregation, affirmative action. Um, what else I could say? $5 Indians. Look that up. Uh, so we're just gonna forget all about Boston Tea Party. We're just gonna forget about, and this is just in the states. I don't even want to start on worldly stuff. So we're just gonna forget about all that. I mean, to be fair, from what I've known, Hitler only did Holocaust stuff. As far as the states in general, most of the wars that we were in, we started. You know, stuff we call out terrorists doing, we call it something else. So if we're gonna be so patriotic and American 1 minute, let's acknowledge the other stuff that some of our forefathers have done. Some of the borderline evil stuff that they have done before we start pinning Orange guy or any politician. Before we just start putting these, like I said, not just Trump, I mean Biden too, Kamala too, Obama too, whoever. Before we start pinning them as these saviors or these scum of the earth, let's just be honest about our origin as a country. Okay, not only are we one of the youngest, if not the youngest country in the world, we're also one of the main ones that probably caused some of the most violent crimes and events ever known to man. So him being in office is just like a cloudy Tuesday. It's not going to mean anything. It's just business as usual. He's going to get up there and just talk random shit, whatever, and then go back and watch sports, watch reality TV show, watch a movie. It's all entertainment at this point. That's kind of how I see news and politics all sense. News, politics, all that. I don't know. It just reminds me of just Everything's scripted, like I'm watching a TV show, like I'm watching Jersey Shore. That's how I see it. Nothing's really happening because all the stuff that's happening or that's going to happen, we won't even know about because we're too focused on the distractions that's going on. Like a Trump saying he's going to build a wall that's 10 feet wide, whatever he said, or talking about changing the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. That's all distractions. It's all getting you up and rising you up, making you rage, make you call him out for certain things. And like I said, this isn't a Trump supporting channel. Again, if this was Biden on the well, actually, I probably said some stuff about Biden on here, the same thing. So y'all know I'm not one against the other. Y'all know me. Y'all should know me by now. But it's to a point where this is kind of like our saying the phrase that I've heard them say, a new normal in a way. Growing up, I used to think, a president of the United States was probably one of the most important jobs any person can get. It's like the job anybody in the world would want. That means you're an important person. It means you're a person that, people look up to. Now I just see that have hold as much weight as a manager at Sears at this point. Like that's all I see the presidency as. That's all I see every president as now. You know, they're just the face. That's all it is. That's all I see a president as. The president is just a face of a company. Just like I said earlier, like a CEO. The CEO doesn't own nothing. They're just the face of the brand. They're just the captain on the ship, but the captain didn't afford the ship. He didn't pay for the tools. He didn't pay for all the settlers to come. That's all because if you look about any pirate stuff, the captain has to, report back to whoever, king, queen, or whatever. That's how I see the president. The president has to report to somebody. They're no different than anybody else. I was about to say, no, I'm not about to spoil the show, but if y'all seen Succession, y'all get the analogy. I want to make that. Power is smoke and mirrors. Nobody really knows who's in control. Who is in control? Nobody really knows. It just depends on what energy you give a certain person. You only give something power unless you put all your thoughts and energy into it. You think a diamond? We think a diamond is like such a prized possession, costing like tens of thousands of dollars. It's good on certain accessories. We try to do up on certain places like cars and whatever. It's a good wedding gift, and we think it looks good on the necklace and all this, and bracelets. And it's cool, but it's just a rock. It's just a rock. Like I said, we put certain energy into certain things, and we think it's worth something. I mean, at the end of the day, Trump's just another guy. Sure, he may have the money, he may have the status, he may have, the appeal, but he's just a person. I mean, we all got to be able to make our own decisions, speak up for ourselves. We can't just depend on one certain person. I mean, I remember even when Obama was in office. I mean, Obama couldn't do wrong in nobody's eyes when he was elected. So again, same thing, not just going for Trump, Obama too. And then, an 11-year-old kid thinking like, oh, someone that looks like me is president. Then around the end of his term, when I got older, it's like, oh, someone like me is bombing this country, and we're applauding it. I mean, he did. Oh, this guy initiated an act that helped this certain group, but not his group. He did. Look it up. Gave a certain group in the alphabet community bathroom privileges, while we can't even go to the bathroom at night without getting harassed. My gosh, you Can't even walk down the street without fitting a description. So, I mean, you take it how you want to take it. That's how I see it. But let's get into these final thoughts. Real quick. 1 second. I hate that. My stuff be lagging, bro. My stuff be lagging. Now I want to do it. I hope my stuff not freezing. Anyway, final thoughts. I mean, this is what I think about this whole presidency thing. I think we all as Americans gotta make our own decisions and come up with our own conclusion on how we want to assess certain things, not just based on one person. That's all I see it. He's just a guy. Every president, from start to finish, all had to answer to somebody because they didn't know what to do. You think George Washington knew what he was doing when he was stepping on from the plate for being president? And first of all, who was voting back then? How did it even go? Did it just say, hey, well, we got this country that we just stole. I mean, we don't really have nobody to lead. I mean, you pretty much did most of it. I think you did more killings. I know somebody else probably did more than you, but let's just say you got the look. You don't look like you're a murderer. I don't think so. Those teeth kind of make you look like you're a vampire. But let's just put you as the face of the company or face of the country. Sorry, we're not a company, are we? Yeah, let's just put you there. And I think that's what happened, so on and so forth. I don't want to know. They make up stuff all the time. They made up voting, they made up marriage, and they made up religion. That's another story, but I'll get off of that. But in lighter news, who's picking these movies to be? This is why I always, granted, I'm like a movie nerd in a sense. In a sense, right? What happened to actual like good movies that are actually good being recognized and not just victim bait movies? Whatever happened to that? Why is and y'all, for those that seen the Oscar nominations, y'all know what movie I'm talking about. Why out of all movies is that being recognized? I haven't even seen it fully, so I'm trying my best not to just follow the crowd and like, oh, yeah, that's trash because everyone else is saying. Like, guys, I saw like a few snippets of it when it went to the singing parts, and when I tell you, I was like doing this to myself. I was like, this is considered like award worthy. This is why the Oscars haven't been taken seriously for like years now. I mean, granted, there's still some good movies. Like Substance was wild, but I like the message that it was sending. It was a dope message. Honora was a dope one too. Everybody's seen Wicked. I still got to see The Apprentice. I heard it was good. I seen A Real Pain. That was good. Uh, yeah, I've been watching. I don't know, like the last few years, I've been watching stuff, but like not really. Now I'm like starting to get back in the groove. I'm like, going back to what I was usually doing, just watching like a bunch of movies like come out, comparing, seeing what's good and whatnot. But this year, I don't know. This year was okay. It wasn't great, but next year probably has much more to offer. I would say, but yeah, not really feeling too much about it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I mean, as far as Trump, I mean, let's see what these 4 years will do. Like I said, I'm indifferent about it. Like I said, I don't really mean too much. But let's get into some good news. So y'all should know by now that hold on, I need to fix my stuff. I'm like so whatever, but let's get this out of the way. So y'all should probably know that I am still doing the web series I am in, right? And I have a movie that's coming out should be next month or so. I believe it was next month. I got all that coming. So yes, yeah, got going on. So yeah, I got the show going. I'm still filming that. I'm still filming it. Movie coming out, and still got my other stuff I'm doing as well. But just kind of slowly and subtly. Like I said, if I'm the reason why I do the structure why I take like a week and a half from episodes and sometimes two is because I got other stuff going on, but I still make sure that I provide y'all good content as well. So, sometimes I might not be all the way in there, so I may need to take a break sometimes. And plus, I'm doing like stuff on my own as well. I'm creating my own content, doing all that, doing all that. But I'm just getting in the groove of things, just staying busy, all that, staying tied up. But yeah, man, I personally say that these 4 years is gonna come. I don't know. I mean, I'm not panicking about anything. It's not gonna be. I will say this: I'd rather him over Kamala. You do what you will with it. Hmm. I'm sorry, I couldn't have it with Travis. No, all that, all that laughing was annoying me. I couldn't do it. I was getting annoyed. I'm like, are you gonna say something besides laughing like a hyena? And I kept on getting annoyed every time she kept doing it. Every time she kept laughing, it was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, this is who you want to run, and it's not saying women can't have certain positions of power. That's not what I'm saying. But she had Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion performing on stage and twerking and talking about nonsense. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, she's not getting nothing. Now, granted, Trump did have Hulk Hogan, uh, borderline racist on there, but I seriously doubt. I think that was a clear indication. I was like, oh my gosh, like they're not even taking this seriously. They think we're just so gullible, everything up. I'm like Hulk Hogan. I'm like, why? Why him out of all people? Why him? And then typical fashion, the I see why it makes sense why the Democratic Party's mascot is a donkey because they always want to recruit jackasses to support them. That's pretty much how I see it. Jackasses. That's pretty much how I see them as because they never go to scientists or people that's in the community, the Democratic Party. I mean, they never go to people that's actually supporting. You don't go to like business owners. They don't go to tech gurus or none of that. They always got to go to an entertainer. They always got to go to rappers. They always got to go to athletes. And then dummies like us, like, oh, see, they like us. See, they're taking a picture. Solid joke. All smoke and mirrors. But that's all I got for now. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, IG, X, Anchor. I keep calling it Anchor. They need to change the name again. I don't know why they changed the name, but Apple. Y'all know where to find me. But till next time, I'm gone. Peace.